Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. Today we're going to have a reading for the sign of Taurus, and this is going to be for March 2024. Let's see. What do we have? Two cards. Two oracle cards for Taurus. We have Sekhmet and the Lotus. Sekhmet is the equivalent to the Strength card, and she is the goddess, warrior goddess, goddess that's connected to violence, aggressiveness, strength, power, warfare. And Lotus, this has a different meaning. It has to do with transitioning into transforming and into a different plane, a different way of seeing things, different perception. You see there's a kind of a doorway here, but also the lotus was used for, it had like properties, medicinal properties, and I think it was also used to change our perception, it's like expand our senses, our perception. I'm missing the words right now. I don't know why. Let me just put them here and then let me just focus a little bit. Hope this is okay. So yeah, so now we're going to get a fairy. We have Netis the Alchemist. Beautiful. Now for some tarot cards for Taurus, March 2024. Let's see, what do we have? What do we have for Taurus for the month of March 2024? Okay, too many. No, it's okay. Maybe later. Let's see. The cards are coming like in bulks, and it's, yeah, maybe it's a little bit different. Let's see. Page of Pentacles. Oh, two cards that wanted to come together. The Devil and the Empress. Maybe I will put them together if they want to be together. Judgment. Very interesting. I also really feel like this Judgment card has a lot to do with this change of perception, expanded consciousness. The Knight of Wands. The Four of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Eight of Swords. Okay. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, two times the Eight of Swords. Two of Wands, 10 of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. And I feel like this card belongs here. The Ace of Cups. So, Taurus for March 2024. feel like you have been transforming something in your life for quite a long time. And maybe this March, things are going to be decided. I think you kind of maybe underestimated this situation, because I feel like maybe all this power was a little bit like hidden somehow. You weren't aware of the power of the situation, of what it really meant to you. Maybe you were a bit naive in your efforts, in the way you were working towards a certain situation. You know, I feel like there's something to do with an addiction here. Maybe you're getting rid of a certain behavior that was kind of a habit, and you are now facing the consequences of that habit, not only on your health, but also on your relationships and your ability to respond. And I think you have a responsibility that you really have to attend to, and you're not able to because you're being interrupted by this, because this creates some kind of it's a blockage, but it's a process. The whole blockage is a process. And I feel like you have to make a choice. Actually, I feel like you are being cornered, like not cornered, but you're being asked to make choices every day, to make the right choice every day. Because the contrast between what you think, what you feel, what you want, and the ability to achieve it, I feel like it's a little bit extreme right now. It's a little bit unbalanced, because I feel like there's something under the surface that's kind of like burning, that's burning underneath. It's searing, and it's like it's ready to emerge, but I think that it's coming in little bite-sized pieces. And I think this is beneficial right now, because maybe that's the only way you can deal with make the right choice. But it's going to take a long time, or maybe longer than you thought. And although I feel like you can grasp what you want very easily, you also fall very easily into thinking that you're not doing it. So I feel like I feel like maybe for some of you, this is a really like a tender, fragile balance. Because I feel like there's this contrast between being very knowledgeable and very responsible, but then being a little bit naive and being a little bit, not childish, but some parts of you that are not so mature are really showing you something. And maybe this is causing you this feeling of, but I was so successful, I was so, well off, and things were going great. But then you doubt yourself because of these. I think you were confronted by something, like something that made you very passionate. I I don't know, maybe it made you angry. Maybe you didn't expect to be angry about something or to be passionate about something. Maybe it was something that surprised you immensely and it opened up your mind so much that it's like what you were doing feels so dull suddenly and feels so small. That's because you saw your potential. You saw that your dimension was the scope, right? The reach, the scope you have is bigger than you thought. And now you're kind of disappointed at how you were doing things before. Because you really have to change. Change is happening within you and it's kind of unstoppable. And I also feel like this has awakened feelings inside you. Maybe for other people, but also for yourself, like for your inner child even. I want to know a little bit more about this process. Three of Wands. Nine of Cups. Yeah, I think you thought you were doing things very, well, but suddenly there was this force that came from, I feel like it came from the unconscious, that brought forth this very strong emotion in you, and it awakened a sort of a power, and the way you see yourself changed because of that. And also the way you see others. Oh, Queen of Swords. I feel like this is a female energy that kind of awakened this. It had this illuminating effect. Blessings of Babaji. This is a card that really represents the place where like divine intervention and pure spirit is arriving in your life. And I believe that while you feel that this was an interruption, it was actually the greatest blessing. And I think you know that. So usually we just take another card because this is the blessing of Babaji. Yeah, Five of Arrows. I mean, it made you realize that maybe your victories weren't really the victories you wanted. You wanted to have a deeper meaning to your struggles, so here it is. Somebody came in to show you why you're struggling. And I feel like this is a motherly, the best way I can put it is a motherly scholar. An expert in maternity, an expert in mother energy, female energy, female archetypal energy. It's very interesting. Um, the reading I did for Pisces also had a lot about this male and female. It was a story about these two polarities. And although I don't see exactly the polarities here, but I also see like how the feminine, this specific principle is illuminating people somehow. So I don't know, something in the collective maybe. Maybe it's the full moon in Virgo, because Virgo is a feminine, very feminine sign. And this figure here, it's a lot like Virgo, right? With the serial, beautiful lady, elegance, subtlety, femininity. Maybe it's something to do with this full moon energy for you. Three of Pentacles. Eight of Wands. So I feel like you are rethinking the way you express your emotions, rethinking the way you relate. It made you even question a little bit the way you work, but at the same time it's making you more stable. So it's really strange. This Eight of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you study a lot. There's a lot of reasoning. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of reading, maybe even. Reading, writing. Two of Swords. The Tower. Oh. So, I think this is ultimately, it's going to affect the way you work very deeply. Because if you write, if this is something that you do, I think you're going to change not only how you write, but also the subjects of what you're writing about. There's a real change in paradigm, in it's really the roots, the underpinnings of how you reason. It's very profound change. And this is why you feel frustrated. Maybe it's because you know you have to change, but maybe sometimes you don't know exactly what, and you keep studying. And also I think that maybe what you should do is trust a little more and just don't think so much. Two of Swords is peace, is resolving polarity. It's a little bit of a pause, although it's a very delicate pause. The two swords that are penetrating this flower, they can cut the flower at any moment, but this specific moment is like a suspension of thought a little bit, and trust. Usually it's represented by a blindfolded person. And I also like that image because it's about trust, right? And it's also about balance, neutrality, being blind to certain things and not engaging with everything makes you a little bit more neutral. And I think that that is the way forward. Just don't think that you're failing because you're not manifesting things as you were manifesting before. It's the way that you do things that is changing. So it's normal that you have this period of adjustment. So a little bit of meditation, a little bit of calm down time is necessary and useful for this to be a successful process. Can we get a little bit more advice? The Four of Pentacles. It's a restructuring. I mean, it's got to be uncomfortable, right? Because this is very comfortable. The Four of Pentacles is a very comfortable situation. All the elements are in place and organized. It's very orderly, and I think it's very good for Taurus, right? It's very predictable. It helps you enjoy life a little bit more if you have the basics, right? But the thing is, this has to change because it wasn't good for you. It's not working because it's making you feel frustrated. And this frustration will go away if you trust. And you rebuild. Maybe I'll get another fairy because it feels like something's missing here. This is Aleister's daughter. I think that this is an invitation for you to be more observing and see signs. See the signs. Try to follow the signs and not be too concerned with proper procedures right now, because I think that you're going to get some communications, and if you follow like the breadcrumbs, you will get there. But I don't think it will be, I think the communications are coming, and I don't know if you're seeing them or if you're kind of rationalizing too much. Trust. This is the advice here. Because something in your perception and the way you see life is going to change for the better, and to make you a happier and more fulfilled person. And you really have, but you have to allow that to happen. You can't expect things like this to happen by force or forcefully. Some things gradually change because they are meant to interact with other people's lives. And maybe you were used to being more of an individual. Maybe this is more childish period of your life where you were more alone, more into your own business. And then this energy that is very giving of the Empress, that is incredibly creative, that opened up your mind to and your feelings to a much more enriching and flavorful life. This is the change, right? And it's going to be amazing for your mental and emotional well-being. is a time for great change. But March, I see March as being a month of a little bit of waiting, maybe a little bit of feeling like you're being interrupted, like things are disrupting your routines, your order, and that maybe you can't really process all that is happening in an intellectual way. And you really have to act a little bit more by faith and not so much by logic. And that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it is the inner like magic that is supposed to happen in order for you to discover who you really are and to discover that life is so much more than you imagine. Yeah, and this is something that will change you spiritually deeply. I can't even like tell if there's a specific thing happening in work or relationships or family, because I think this is something that is so profound that it will affect every area of your life. But especially if you write for a living or you do something like communication, in communication, or something that has to do with intellectual work, and it will change the work immediately, and you will feel like the disruption immediately, because this has to do with the pillars of your reasoning. So if that changes, the way you think changes, so the way you write, the way you speak, the way you present yourself is going to change immediately, because I see here that this is a person who is very intellectual. There's a very rich intellectual life here. I also feel like maybe you have an audience and you kind of feel that responsibility towards that audience, and now you're changing, and it's hard to have that mirror immediately, right? So I don't see like March being, I don't see like timing, or I don't even see this happening exclusively in March. Actually, I think that it will go into April also. So this process, and it's ongoing actually. I don't feel like it started now. It started a little bit before. Maybe in January you were already feeling this in the beginning of this year. It is quite a ride, and it's going to be amazing when you go through this. And I hope that this reading, if it resonated with you, that it motivated you to stay on the path and not give up, because the prize is so good. Like it's this peace of mind that is coming for you, and transformation that will allow you to embody so many qualities that you have that were not accessible before. And you're going to be so much more than you thought you were. You're going to surprise yourself in the end. But now it's a little bit slow, so just try to rest whenever you can, and as much as you can also try to enjoy this ride by kind of letting go and having faith in the signs and following the signs, really. It's a bit like, I feel like this is a bit like Alice in Wonderland. You know, it's very surreal when you don't understand that there's a linear logic But there's no linear logic here for you now, because you will only see the logic of it when you go through it. That's faith. Okay? And that's that pure outlook that we have, like an innocence that makes us learn. This is the place where you learn. So try to follow the signs and go through all these different adventures with an open mind and an open heart, and you will be transformed in the end and turned into something that you are very proud of, and that it's like a leader, somebody who you would follow. Yeah, so beautiful and inspiring. Thank you so much for this, Taurus. And if you did like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It will help me so much, as I'm just starting out. And also I would love to hear your comments and feedback. And I'm also available for personal readings, and the information is in the description box below. So I hope to see you very soon. Bye.